Okay, hello. So, welcome to this tutorial, which is going to look at how we can put an FBX model inside Mixamo, some really cool online software. And we're going to start off by using Mudbox, Autodesk Mudbox, pull that into 3D Studio Max, upload the FBX onto Mixamo, then re-download it with the animations attached to it for 3D Studio Max. Yeah. So, let's make a start. So if we open up Autodesk Mudbox and go to Create on the top, and when we go to Mesh, and then choose the human body. There we go. So this is really useful. This is just one of the sort of the library assets that comes with Mudbox, and theoretically we could just move this over now. But if you can obviously make changes to it in the way you want to. If you're not familiar with Mudbox, I definitely recommend looking at some of the tutorials first before playing around with this. Although you can obviously just have a little bit of fun. But essentially it's kind of virtual mud that you just morph with, and there's lots of different ways you can do that. So for example, if you were to choose the bulge tool, sorry, at the bottom, this kind of affects muscle areas. And if you turn on Mirror X as well, like I've done there just on the right, you can start to add some definition to some of the muscles, and it's really a case of sort of playing around with like the strength of the brush and the sort of the size of the brush as well, just to make sure that you're getting this right. So this is definitely a piece of software that was created to, I suppose, more for kind of hands-on artists to sort of really feel like, rather than kind of applying specific like figures and statistics to the models, they use the mouse, or this software was actually created with graphics tablets in mind. So yeah, but there's lots of different tools you can use. The pinch tool, and this is a grab tool just here. And if you mess around with the different kind of sensitivities again of the strength from the brush, you can get some really cool effects going on. So yeah, I'm going to make like kind of a spiky dude here. You can also, if you click on the paint bit, just adjusting the brush so it's big. As soon as you click, it will create a layer as well, because as you can imagine, the paint sits on a layer, or a little bit like Photoshop, I guess, where it sits on top of the layer of the model, so it's not directly painting on it; it's just painting the layer on top. If that makes sense. You got some stencils as well, which is really cool. So you can start adding some different patterns on there. You can also make up your own custom stencils as well, and import those into Mudbox. Again, there's probably loads of tutorials out there that will show you how to do that, and that's not what this one's about. And you're going to make sure as well that, I suppose, the back of your character is going to need to, like, obviously if you're doing the front, you're going to need to do the back as well. So kind of here's one that that I made a little bit earlier, beforehand, and as you can see, I've made some alterations to it. Your character will probably look anything like mine. I mean, this is something I just chucked together in kind of like 5-10 minutes. It's not the focus point of this tutorial, but it's just fun to kind of show what you can mess around with inside Mudbox. So if you want to go to File, then send to 3D Studio Max. Doesn't matter if 3D Studio Max is already open or not. Make sure you select the middle option, which looks at setting meshes at current level. I've created 4 different levels on mine, but you might want to create less, just because obviously the more you've got, the more time it's going to take to like render these things out. So I put it into 3D Studio Max now. Obviously I haven't taken into consideration on this video the wait time between the two. Your computer might be slower than mine, but I've just taken it out, so you can obviously pause this video if you need to wait. Obviously once it's in 3D Studio Max, export it out as an FBX, then load up Mixamo website that you can see here. If you haven't got an Adobe ID already, make sure you sign up for one, because you won't be able to use the service without it. And then go to Browse Animations, and then hit the upload button at the top of the screen, and just upload your FBX from wherever you put it. Okay, so once it's loaded it and generated it for you, you just need to place these circles in the right place. So this one's for the chin. Then you've got one for the wrists. They'll both move as well. Mixamo does actually say, I think it says it on the right somewhere. Does it say it on this bit? It might have been on the previous page, but yeah, it does say, you know, if you can, make sure you load in FBXs that are in the T pose. I mean, it's still going to work like this, but I think it also depends on what kind of animations you want attached to it as well. So, you know, just better safe than sorry. Make sure it's normally in a T pose, but this tutorial will help you kind of get to grips with how all this software works with each other. So yeah, again, I've fast forwarded it there in terms of generating it, just so you guys aren't waiting on this video. You know, once you've clicked it, you know, click OK. It'll bring you through to this different menu here, and there are literally hundreds of different kind of animations you can add to this. So the real golden part to this is that you've essentially created a rigging system, so that when you export this, you don't have to add animations at this stage to it. You could just export it now back into 3D Studio Max, or any, you know, or Maya, I guess, and or even Unreal 4, and it has a rigging system attached to it, so you can manipulate the bones and the rigging system, which is obviously the really golden sort of point of this. But what we're doing here is we're just adding like an animation. So I've just added the fireball animation to it, and just clicked at top and add to assets, and then click view download, which is taking us through to this screen. Once you're happy with it, I mean, you can adjust some of these options. I've changed my power option on the fireball to 100%, so it's got a really sort of strong effect. Once you hit download, sorry, give you the option to go through here. I've changed the option to original pose, but it really doesn't matter. You can just leave all this to like default, so it's going to be completely fine. Just hit Q download, and that will process. And there we go. You will give the option how to download it. This one, because we've attached a couple of animations to it, will download as a zip file. But if you're just adding one to it, it will just come as a normal file, normal FBX file. And then, yeah, I've imported it back into 3D Studio Max. And if I hit play at the bottom, there you go. It's my animation. And there you go. That's how you go through that process and add animations in 3D Studio Max with a custom character and a auto rig. Thanks for watching.